Alright folks, we are JRTA Marathon, and it is a fundraiser marathon to bring two of our wonderful friends from Japan, Bacord and Ohone, to Awesome Games Done Quick. Our goal total is $4,500, and we're just under a third of the way there. Thank you so much for your generosity thus far. We've had tons of fun, and we hope you guys are all in it. Couple of the incentives coming up. New Super Luigi U, beat the game without using Nabbit, and that's really soon. That'll be $100, and it's only at 0. Goose egg. So if you guys can find it in your hearts and wallets to up that to the amount needed, we'd really appreciate it. I'm sure you want to see new and, well, not new, but totally different in New Luigi U.
So, speaking of donation incentives, we are getting panties, correct?
Yes, that has been met.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the donations.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys actually went over the amount needed for that.
Perfect.
So, like, way over. Like, 2 or 3 donations over, I think.
Shoutouts to the donators.
They know what's good in life.
Panties.
Some other upcoming incentives. Oxuous Maid Cam. You know you want that. That's a fan favorite. That'll be a total amount needed of $1,000, and we've got $356.01 so far. So it needs more than halfway to go. And that's coming up in the afternoon, I think around 3 or 4 o'clock Eastern. Super Mario RPG. So I don't think that's the cutoff, as he has more runs in the marathon, so if it isn't made by Super Mario RPG, it can still be made by some of his later runs. Mario Party 2, Dark Witch, I think that's it. A little later on, Mega Man 10 bonus race of the special stages after the schedule. That'll be at $250, and it's only at 30 so far, but I think you've got quite a bit of time for that one. And the next file name donation war is Blast Core and or Blastozer. That's a file name, and that's up to 7 letters. Right now we only have $10.03 donated for anime. So if you want to support anime and make sure it gets in there, kick some dollars towards that, or you can get the file name for whatever you want for $10.04 right now.
Make anime real, everybody.
Yo anime. Matter of fact, chat, can we get some yo anime in the chat?
Yo!
Hey, thanks for the host, Queen. Alright, looks like Supreme's ready. Just waiting for a countdown from you guys whenever you're all set.
And one's the
ready.
neutral third party, so he's gonna do the countdown.
Okay, boys. 3, 2, 1, go.
This is Cave Story.
And contrary to the yo animes we had in chat, this is not an anime game. It is, however, a good game.
You should play it.
Yeah,
Not
I should
anime,
play
but
it.
good.
I died to the first spike.
Yo, really?
Yeah,
GG.
just missed my jump button. So I mean, I just picked up the first weapon, but Shadax probably picked it up like 20 seconds
Yep.
ago. We're also going to be picking up a fair bit of health during the run, because we have a lot of damage boosts that we do. Speaking of damage boosts, we're going to take 1 damage from the trigger, so we can not get hit by the door. And speaking of game mechanics, when you're jumping through the air, you move about 5% faster. So we're going to be jumping wherever it's, you know, convenient, and when it doesn't like mess up our platforming routine. And the reason for that is because when you're on the ground, the game is trying to apply its own like friction value. It's trying to like slow you down constantly, but it doesn't do that in the air. And that's actually a pretty important mechanic for later on, because it's going to allow us to conserve lots of momentum and go fast.
It's pretty deep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can on the fly, but we can hear quite a bit of keyboard.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I can't do anything about that. Maybe maybe Shadax feed isn't as bad.
Yeah, I mean mine is maybe a little quieter, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, but you're still gonna be getting the mumble feed from me. I'll try to mash quieter. But
It's kind of the nature of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game requires a lot of mashing.
You press the button fast and you kill bosses fast. There's also a trick related to being able to mash the button fast, but we'll get to that. Queen and Bio Billy Bones like keyboard. And apparently
They
so
have
does
good taste.
Camera Guy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So with that very broad sample size, I think keyboard is fine.
Please donate if you like keyboard sounds, or if you don't.
I just donate in general.
By the way, the mushrooms you saw in the graveyard are all random.
Yeah, I got pretty bad mushroom positions.
Oh, I should save.
It's... Egg Corridor is kind of actually deceptively difficult, because even though it's the first area of the game, there's a good bit of, I don't know if technicality is the right word, but there's strats. Like there's this little basil that oscillates beneath us, and it'll one-shot you, so naturally we're going to get right up in its grill.
You just have to have confidence. The area that they're going through right now, the very first part of the area at least, is pretty dependent on what kind of drops they get in terms of whether or not they're going to lose a bunch of time. The idea is they want to get their weapon to level 2 before a certain point.
And also, you saw me do it. I don't know if Shadax got it, but
I got
you're
first.
invincible during the cutscene, so you can ride the bug's head across. Funnily enough, if you mess it up a tiny bit, they can actually send you backwards. And it wastes a bunch of time. And on top of that, you end up taking a hit, which further sets you back in XP. Because when you take damage in this game, you start to lose XP on the weapon that you have out.
Got another donation here if I can get a couple seconds.
Go for it.
Yet another $10 donation from Queen Nulu. Keyboard sound, heart. Surgasm.
Thanks, Queen.
Churgasm. I'm not.
Either or.
Good donation.
Well, you hear Shadax is on the fight.
Yeah,
is
it
Igor.
was the first fight.
The first real fight of the game.
Yeah. Because we skipped the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot to mention it.
Yeah, you skip the first Balrog encounter just because, you know, you can, and it's really slow, and you have a weak weapon. And here, Sue is just telling us about, you know, stuff we're gonna have to do in the future. It's all in Japanese, so... If you really want to hear about it, play the game yourself. And if you haven't played the game already, you know, what are you doing with your life?
It's free.
Exactly, cavestory.org.
Cavestory.org.
Oh, and by the way, playing the game in Japanese saves about 5 to 6 minutes, I think.
Yeah, that's about correct.
So that's why.
Oh, that's huge. How long is, like, the run usually?
An
An
hour.
hour.
Wow.
Yeah, the thing is that it displays one character per frame if you're holding down either jump or shoot. And English has way more characters than Japanese. And on top of that, technically the English version is a mod of the original game, so, you know, it works out in every sense. Because the original Japanese, or the original Cave Story was only released in Japanese, and the English is a fan mod. Cave Story Plus obviously has translation options. Speaking of Cave Story Plus, I'm not playing on Cave Story Plus because it's a worse run, even though it's technically faster. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. No, I'm fine, thank you. No, I'm fine for right now. I'm fine.
What? Go to the bathroom. He's right there. Are you coming? Are you gonna stay in the bathroom?
Sorry for a moment there, my dog came into my room.
Did you not pet it enough?
Yeah, that was basically it. But anyway, I think I was talking about Cave Story Plus. It runs at 60 FPS, but the game isn't, like, you know, adjusted accordingly, so the physics is all distorted, and it's technically faster, but it's a worse run because they patched out a few of the skips that we use. Oh.
Practically speaking, you could say Cave Story Plus is just Cave Story and fast forward. So I think most people's first experience should be on the original freeware version, but they're both good games in their own right.
We're about to pick up our second weapon. It's called the Fireball. The interesting thing about the Fireball is that it moves along the ground instead of like where the Polar Star, when it hits a wall, it'll just end. The Fireball will keep going and bounce around for a tiny bit. And since it's level 1, it's going to be weak, and we're going to be killing things with our Polar Star primarily, and picking up the XP with our Fireball, trying to level it up.
This is Chaco. We can get the lipstick if we sleep with her, but we won't because it's slower, obviously.
It's just a neat little Easter egg, but y'all donated for a different Easter egg, so don't worry about it.
Oh well. Getting hit by these jellyfish is really punishing because they do about 5 damage, which is a lot.
Yeah, but what's worse than taking the damage, the 5 damage, is that it like sets you back 10 experience. Because the amount of damage you take double that amount of damage on your weapon in XP. So it sets you back pretty far in the speedrun, while in the casual playthrough it wouldn't really matter. Just because, you know, you can sit back and kill enemies and farm them. You don't really have that luxury in the speedrun.
Yeah, having to be in a situation where you have to farm XP for your weapons is one of the biggest time wasters there can be in a speedrun.
And
Other than
XP
dying, of
going
course.
up is pretty terrible for wasting your time with XP. It's no Toros. Oh shoot. Okay. I got knocked off the platform with the big jelly, but I recovered.
Happens. That trick, by the way, if y'all couldn't really understand what was happening there, basically they just took damage at the platform. That's the trick they're trying to do there. Saves probably like 5 seconds of walking up to the platform.
Speaking of tricks, when you pause, your iframes reset, so we took a double damage boost over Chaco's house. The Chaco house skip is actually a pretty difficult trick for beginners, just because the bat movement is really finicky, and a tiny bit of like movement, tiny changes in movement on your part make big differences on the bat's position.
Yeah, it took me a long time to learn it. It's a pretty important trick though, it saves a lot of time.
Yeah, it saves like 2 minutes of backtracking. Because unknowingly we're on a fetch quest throughout, you know, this area. We're gonna make a bomb, 2 of the ingredients we already have. And had we not been able to skip over Chaco's house, we would have had to use one of our jellyfish juices to get through the house normally. And after turning on the fans, we'd have to go all the way back, kill the jelly again, then go all the way back.
By the way, this was the first Balrog fight, and the idea is to stand on his head and mash fireball.
So we pick up missiles here, and these bats that are right above me, we're going to be taking damage boost off them. You know, you see a pattern here. And in that time, we're going to use that period of waiting for the bats to pick up some extra XP and try to get level 2 missiles pretty early. And I got pretty good drops. Alright, we picked up the final ingredient for the bomb, which is the gum base, which we get from Gum Room. We fight, you know, a pretty random boss. He's not all that difficult. What the intended strat is to do is to use the fans on either end of this room to go around and hop over him, but as it turns out, you can just take damage to get through him. And the amount of damage you can do to him each round is random. So if he wants to, he can just, you know, screw you. But I got a 3 round, which is the best you can get.
Usually the player will get a 3 round, but you can get a 4 round and it sucks.
Yeah, and there's
it's
basically
usually not
nothing
your
you
fault.
Yeah, there's basically nothing you can do about it.
I also got 3 rounds, so that's
Good job.
Thanks for the one viewer host, BJW.
Thank you, BJW.
Thank you.
Epic.
Yo, where are the BJW subs to put BJW Suku in chat? Alright, so we got our bomb and we're gonna go rescue our human now.
Oh yeah, it's a bit late to mention, but after they left the room with Balfrog in it, they basically got a bunch of momentum in midair from a fan that was outside of the room and kept jumping to maintain that momentum, and that's going to come into play a little bit later in the run.
That goes hand in hand with the thing I was saying earlier, where the game only tries to decelerate you if you're on the ground. So any forward momentum that you have, if you're in the air, you're going to keep it. Unless you have the booster, in which case it forces you to decelerate at the end, but we have ways around that.
Yo, thank you, Duckfist, for the 1 viewer host. And
Thank you, Duckfist.
I'm the 666st.
Good name.
Yes. Agree.
Alright, on the way back through Grasstown, we're going to just basically make sure our weapons are topped off. And I got really good EXP drops before the Balrog fight for my missile, so I'm not going to be leveling up my missile because you actually only want level 2 and you don't want level 3 in the upcoming area, because the level 2 missiles are more predictable. And they're, you know, as a result, they're more useful for killing some annoying enemies. And that's in Grasstown. Oh! You guys can probably hear that, can't you?
Can we get some Franker Z in chat?
Yeah, can we get some Franker Z in chat?
I typed that too early. Delay, whatever.
Get some O.
Yo, Andy is hosting for 4 viewers. Thanks, Andy. Cuba is Death now hosting. Thanks a lot, guys.
Hush!
By the way,
Host City.
we are about to enter the third
Hush!
area of the game, called Sand Zone. Drac is probably already in, but it's a very hard area because everything does a lot of damage, and you can lose your the level of your weapon.
Alright, my
easily.
dogs have chilled. Yeah, but yes, I did just enter Sand Zone. Yo, good pyramid. Too bad it got interrupted.
Oh. Didn't get interrupted for me.
Oh, it got interrupted on my end. Oh, never mind. I was... one of the Frankers Z's just wrapped around to the next line, so it looked like somebody else had interrupted it. This is Curly. Obviously, since we're getting the best ending, you're required to get the spur. So we're going to be denying the machine gun, even though it would be a really good item for speedrunning. Alright, well I guess my Japanese is a little rusty. I accidentally picked up the machine gun.
What are you gonna do, dude? You can't get the best ending now.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get panties at the very least.
Yeah, at least get panties. That's what the people paid for.
Dude, I don't know English either. I think that's no. Oh shit. I said yes.
You both
Whatever.
of you? Come on.
Well, at least we're on even footing now. Alright, the panties room was rough, but I managed. If only I was M1 and I had the strats for getting panties.
I should have been racing this.
Yeah, you should have been. Free time save, to be honest. It's worth noting now because it's probably going to happen, but the machine gun has like a tiny bit of randomness associated to it. Like the shots don't shoot perfectly straight. They'll go up and down a tiny bit, and that's a problem because you can actually hit a block you're not aiming at. And when that happens, it can really mess up your pattern of movement. And on top of that, these circle enemies, which are the Sunlycan, I think, their pattern changes depending on which blocks are hit out, so like a tiny mistake can compound itself pretty terribly.
Yeah, I got another donation here. Can the runners guess who it's from?
Queen.
Queen Ulu.
It is, and it's for 10 bucks. Heart the Cave Story, boys.
Thanks, fan.
CS
And
Hearts.
thank you so much, Queen. Going hard in the paint.
Yeah. This boss that they're fighting now is the most technical boss in the game.
Yeah, you just kind of stand and shoot your weapon. I almost said shoot your button, which I guess technically is not wrong, but it'd be more correct to just say weapon.
Didn't get the 300.
I got 297. Oh. Oh, jeez.
Pretty soon they're going to get to a point where they need to get level 3 machine gun pretty quick, or they're going to be losing a bunch of time trying to farm for it. So hopefully they'll get good drops to get that.
Yeah, the machine gun just isn't a good weapon at level 1 like the spur is. It's also worth noting that we're on the dog collecting mission. So, you know, if there's any dog-related emotes that Twitch could spam, now would be the time.
I've never seen any dog-related Twitch emotes.
I think
That's what I was
Shadax
thinking.
is the right one.
Yeah, let me try that.
We got another donation here. Looks like it's from
Yeah.
my state of being right now. The username is headphones and coffee,
Ew.
and the comment is machine gun panties %. That's for 10 bucks. Thank you very much, headphones and coffee.
Thanks.
Thank you, headphones and coffee.
Oh, that's not good.
Uh-oh.
Okay, never mind, never mind.
Yeah, everything in Sandzone does a ton of damage, so taking hits is costly. Well, unintended hits, because there's a few intentional taking damage parts. But we manage our XP around it, so... You know, taking extra damage sucks.
Oh, dude. I
Uh-oh.
forgot to kill that one. And I just lost level 3 machine gun.
Dang.
Damn. So yeah,
If you...
that kind of things happen in Sandzone.
Mm-hmm. And the enemies move so sporadically, it's nearly impossible to take out the enemies consistently. So those kind of things are prone to happen.
Yo, thank you for the host, Speedruns Live, and Blecky.
Yo, thanks Speedruns Live.
Thanks.
And whoever the second person is that I forget the name of already.
Blecky.
This guy.
Blecky.
Or Bletchy.
Bletchy.
Or
Blishy.
Blushy.
So if it wasn't obvious, we're killing these enemies to pick up their experience. Because we really want to be topped off before the end of Sandzone on everything. And speaking of like enemy randomness, these birds are incredibly random. And so our strategy is just to take damage and use iframes to get through them. Also, if you shoot them, they'll home in on your position and fly at you really fast, and it's really a pain to deal with.
It's good for an added challenge.
Yeah. Challenge runs live.
Got a little announcement.
Okay.
With that last donation from Headphones and Coffee, we have reached $1,500. We're
Yo.
1/3 of the way to the goal.
$1,500 hype.
Hey, GG.
Woo!
Also, what I was saying at the very beginning about moving 5% faster in the air, obviously the machine gun lets you move in the air for a long time, so it's pretty good. I don't know of any other video games that let you fly, so it's a pretty unique aspect to Cave Story.
Superman 64.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Forgot. Did Superman 64 come up before or after 2004 when Cave Story was released?
I'm pretty sure it was the sequel to Cave Story.
Oh, alright.
That's why it lets you fly as well.
So, the machine gun gives momentum in both the vertical directions, so by shooting up we'll accelerate to our maximum falling speed faster. That's just a cool thing to note of. Also, we're going to be picking up the heart jar. If we were going for, you know, PB attempts, we wouldn't be picking it up because it takes about 12 seconds to get, and if you play perfectly throughout the run, you don't need it. But it'll heal you back up to full HP once. And we're going to be keeping it till the end of the game, basically. Because skipping it in a marathon is, like, really risky. One of the really important skills of Cave Story is being able to swap weapons pretty fast, or pretty deliberately, I should say. And this boss really tests that. What we're going to do is we're going to be hitting her with a missile, and then swapping weapons, and when she lands, hit her with another missile. And we need missiles because missiles force her to jump and make her attacks very predictable, whereas if she stands on the ground, it's a bad time.
Honestly, I think the most major thing new runners to this game have, one of the most major issues they have is weapon swapping. And it's pretty hard to get used to.
Funny thing is that sometimes she just doesn't jump when you shoot a missile, and I believe that happened to me at my AGDQ run. But you just kind of have to react to it when it happens, and it's an unfortunate bug.
I wish she didn't jump, but I... okay.
Don't worry, Lemon Kitsune, Sue did not die. It was Toroko.
Sue will never die. She's too strong.
Determined, even.
Mm-hmm.
That feel when you hit the split button, but you don't have any splits. So here we are, I mean me, because Drac obviously got it first, but I'm about to get a heart life reveal, rather.
This is going to be our last health upgrade for the run.
Yeah. But
again,
we
this is a
usually
marathon
skip it.
part, yeah.
Pretty much.
You have to be really careful in this area because the cockroaches do 5 damage each, and that's, you can only tank a hit from that if you have full XP on your machine gun, which I, you know, unintentionally just demonstrated.
Totally intentional.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can really lose a lot of time in this area if you don't have level 3 machine gun, really throughout the rest of the run, really.
Mm-hmm.
So you really need to be careful about taking hits with it out.
Alright, this boss is really easy, and it really shows the true power of the blade. JK, I didn't get a 1 round.
Yeah, the thing about the blade is, you know, unlike the other weapons, you can only have one projectile on the screen at a time, but of course if you're hugging the enemy's hitbox, that doesn't really matter.
Hitboxes need hugs.
Hitbox.tv/needhugs. Alright, so the boss coming up is Monster X. He's kind of like an issue for most players their first run through, just because he's, you know, so wild and out there. But if you know his patterns, he's pretty simple. His first attack before you can actually do damage to him is this phase with a bunch of green orbs. He'll shoot out projectiles, and once you kill the orbs, which the blade is very good at doing, he'll move on to his phase where he can take damage like a normal enemy. And you see me jumping into the boss. That's because since you can only have one blade out at a time, I am, you know, just camping his hitbox so the blade instantly hits and disappears, and then I get my next blade out even quicker. Alright, I'm low on missiles, so I'm going to get the refill right here, even though I don't need the health. Because missiles for the upcoming area and the next boss are pretty important. One of the interesting things about the blade is that the projectile actually starts out behind you, so for this boss, we're just gonna kind of stand near him and walk away, and it'll look like we're throwing the blade backwards, but we're actually not. It's just hitting him like the exact frame it comes out, which is pretty cool.
Dude, you could have picked up the booster.
Yeah, well, you need the Booster 2.0 for best ending. Booster 2.0 is faster anyway. Who needs to fly with that wimpy thing if you have a machine gun? Really?
Well, you shouldn't have the machine gun because the spur is better.
Yeah, you're right. Anyway, this is probably by far the most random area of the game. Both in like enemy movement and XP drops and all that stuff. I got a big XP drop from the fan, which is pretty important because it means that I don't have to do farming at the end for XP. And I got an early level 2. I need level 2 for the next boss. Also got level 2 blade, which is a minor help on the next boss. Actually,
Oh, I hit the spike here.
I actually lost level 2 on my blade, so rip.
Okay.
Level 2 blade is nice but not required, and also makes the upcoming boss fight a lot more consistent, because there is a quick kill for him. Basically, he has 4 like phases in which we can do damage to him, and at the end of the fight you need to drown. So once we get done with this door puzzle, we're going to be waiting on the water level to get in a specific position to maximize the amount of time we have to drown during the fight. And if we get lucky and execute properly, then we'll do most of our drowning during the fight. Otherwise, you know, we won't. And getting quick kill on the core saves about 20 seconds. Also, I'm carrying my air momentum through the water by never hitting the ground. That saves a lot of time, because you move about half speed through the water, but we're carrying our air momentum just by never hitting the ground.
Also, I didn't realize that I lost my level 2 rocket launcher, so I had to come closer to the door. You have to damage it
Yeah.
if you want to progress.
Alright, that was a good first 2 rounds, so I might be able to get quick kill. But he still has to cooperate for this next round too. Maybe? This might be quick kill. I didn't get it. I ran out of missiles. That sucks.
Rip. Yeah, missile count can be really important for getting a quick kill on this fight.
It's like important for so many parts, because the core shields just absorb damage. So if you have your blade, the blade only hits once, whereas the missiles do a little bit of piercing damage. So you can damage both the core and the missiles and knock them, not the missiles, his shields, and knock them back a lot during the fight. So like getting good luck just makes it you know, easier on the next part of the fight. Is Shadax gonna get quick kill?
No.
Oh dang. BJW getting my hopes up.
That was a terrible fight, TBH.
Darn. The trick that's coming up here is called waterway skip. It's a very unintended strategy. Basically, there's 2 tiles of underwater current we're gonna push ourselves through with the machine gun, and this is another reason why mashing speed is important. There is a way you can do it with pause buffering, but I don't do that because, you know, why pause buffer when you can just get it first try anyway?
Did you get it first try?
No, I haven't attempted it yet.
Okay.
You will.
Maybe. No, I didn't get it.
I meant to say you won't. That's what I meant to say.
Alright, I got it like 5th try. That's pretty acceptable.
Dece. Yeah, using the non-pause buffer strat like Drac is and probably Shadax, it requires really good mashing speed, and I've actually never even been capable of it. I use the pause buffer strat myself.
Yeah, the way it works is that the machine gun auto fires when you hold down the button. It also will fire every single time you press the button, so with really good mashing you can get in some extra auto fire shots. I don't know why that works, but it just does. And that gives you enough like vertical momentum to get through.
I think I also got it like 5th try.
I'd like to go out on a limb here and ask our viewers here for a big ol' favor. If you like the marathon, please feel free to host it for us. People can see through their following directory that the marathon is in existence and happening right now, in case they didn't know about it. So if you got Frank or Face Z, go on and bop that host button, or head over onto your channel and /host JRTA Marathon. It would be much appreciated.
You know it's the right thing to do.
Any kind of spreading the word on social media, there's Twitter or your own Facebook or whatever it is, or through Twitch, like hosting, Please, please, please bring them on in. Oh, they're rolling in now.
Okay, we're at the point where the game is really going to start to speed up. The Booster 2.0 gives you an extremely large amount of speed, but only for like a second. But we can preserve that speed using the machine gun, and using the knowledge that, you know, when we lift off the surface, we preserve that momentum. So what I'm going to do is about a corner boost, which basically means I'm touching the ground for 1 frame, then I'm going to lift off it with the machine gun and carry all of my Booster 2.0 speed without actually having to use the booster. And you just, you know, fly really fast through the area. And it's worth noting that basically everything in here will de-level machine guns, so when I have it out, it's pretty risky.
What you saw on my side was that I was about to get a 1-round Iron Head.
That's really rare.
That's really, really hard and very rare, but I was too greedy and I lost my machine gun level 3, so I had to farm a little bit. So I lost a little bit of time.
What you just saw me do is called the sister skip. If you leave the room kind of fast after picking up the missiles, you don't have to fight the boss.
You can actually just not fight the boss by not picking up the missiles, which I believe is intended, but we want the missiles, so we can have
Keep
our
in mind,
cake
we've
and eat
only
it too.
gotten 2 missile count upgrades, so we're rocking pretty short compared to a normal playthrough, where you could get up to like over 50, I believe.
Also, sorry for saying... No, go, sorry.
I was gonna say, I know you get 100 missiles if you don't pick up any missiles until hell, but why would you ever do that? Anyway, go on.
I know, right? It doesn't matter.
Oh,
It's in the
okay.
past.
Okay, so yeah, there's 2 ways you can preserve momentum using the machine gun, or using the Booster 2.0 machine gun. The way I just did it is, I'm using the machine gun to push me down into the ground, then jumping as soon as I hit it, and that's very similar to what I did in Grasstown, or what we did in Grasstown, when we got speed from the fan. And we kept it by jumping.
There's a lot of like kind of dead time in this plantation area, but like Drek was kind of mentioning, when you do the momentum carries with the machine gun and everything, you can shave a lot of time off of what you're doing in the plantation because it's such a big area.
And most of the differences between getting like really good times and just getting pretty good times are like the boost areas, because it's all about getting your setups quick and doing like optimal carries. I just messed that up, so that was not an optimal carry. A corner boost is basically the most amount of momentum you can save, because you're only considered touching the ground for 1 frame, whereas like normal machine boosting, where you just jump off the ground, you're not going to save as much, just because, you know, it's really hard to be frame perfect.
Well, not for me.
Oh, okay. The boss I'm about to fight, he tries to ask you a series of trick questions, but we know better. And then we fight him.
His boss fight is... Sorry, go on.
I'm just gonna say he's really random.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's really annoying, and that's why he's really annoying.
Alright, I got a 2-round on him. That's just about as good as you can get. Also, you notice my fireball de-leveled. That's not going to be a problem because we're not going to need it for the rest of the run. Also, we're going to get all our weapons forcefully de-leveled in a little bit.
So my machine gun was really low on XP, and I touched one of these fireflies and I lost it, so it sometimes takes a lot of time to get it back.
Yeah, Plantation in particular is really punishing if you lose level 3 machine gun because there's no quick way to get XP. The fireflies drop like 2 XP each. It's pretty unfortunate when that happens, but you know, it's happened to everybody.
The fish drop big XP chunklets, but you have to like dive into the water to grab them, so it's slow.
On top of that, you're not going to have level 3 machine guns, so you're not going to be able to like fly and pick it up. You're going to have to wait on the ground and wait for the big XP chunk to slowly fall down. Yeah, we're reaching a bit of dead time. So you have like 2 minutes to read donations, just because we lost our booster and we're doing a long fetch quest.
Alrighty, it's only a quickie. It's an anonymous donation for $5.15. Thanks a lot.
Cool, thank you, Anonymous.
No
Thanks.
comment.
Yeah, I realized we'd been talking a while, so I didn't know if you had a backlog or something.
That's all good. I just happened to refresh.
Nice. Alright, I got level 1 fireball now. Not that it's gonna matter. The reason we're doing all this is so that we can build a rocket and ride it all the way up to the very top. Funnily enough, you don't actually need the rocket to reach the top, because if you get iframes off of the fireflies that are in here, you can just damage boost through the big crushers that would normally one-shot you. But Pixel thought of that, and actually if you get up there before you're intended to, the door just says you're not supposed to be here yet, and you can't enter.
Pretty good forward thinking.
I don't even know how viable that would be in the speedrun because it takes forever to get the fireflies over there. It'd actually probably be faster than doing this long fetch quest, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Alright, we're coming up on Final Cave, one of the hardest areas in the game. I activated that rocket early before talking to Mom Rain and getting my booster back because the rocket takes time to accelerate and I can actually just equip my booster in time to start jumping and use it and beat the rocket and then land on it, so it saves a tiny bit of time to do that. Also, M1, feel free to start commentating because I'm going to focus.
Alrighty. Final Cave is my personal favorite part of the run, just because it's straight up pure booster skill. Throughout his route through Final Cave, well, I mean, this goes for every Cave Story speedrunner, like he has in his mind which EXP capsules he's gonna grab for which weapons. the general idea is, you know, he wants level 2 Blade for part of the upcoming gauntlet of boss fights, and he wants to get level 3 missiles, particularly to use against the Doctor. And when he gets to that point, you're going to see that they kind of melt him. Also, the strat he's going to be using against the Red Demon is pretty sick. I don't know exactly if he's there yet, because delay.
I'm fighting the Red Demon right now.
Sounds like. So yeah, as you probably saw, the general strat that people use is just to intentionally take damage off the force field that appears, because it only does 1 damage, but it gives you iframes all the same. And then you just camp his hitbox when he's jumping in the air.
Also, you can heal in that house, but I'm fine on health, so I'm not going to.
Because you get the cheat life upgrade.
Exactly. Also, Misery's body does not do a lot of damage, but all of her attacks do, so we're just going to be getting iframes. Which is kind of the theme of this run. When she's doing that black orb attack that you just saw, she actually can't, sorry, she has like a set amount of damage she can take per round, but when she's doing those black orbs that shoot out lightning, the damage you do to her during that phase is not calculated into her intended maximum, so you can actually skip a few rounds if you get lucky positions on her, if she spawns far enough away to do that attack, and hit her with some well-timed missiles. Anyway, you're about to see the Doctor get melted by the blade and missile.
That was a good fight.
Thank you. Alright, well, normally if I had 12 health I wouldn't heal here, but I'm being a baby.
That Doctor just like a giant bag of blood.
Pretty much.
Shadax with the damageless final cave.
Nice. Good job. Except for the 1 damage you take during the gate, but...
Well, yeah.
Obviously.
Doctor blood bag. So the way this final fight works is that he has 2 like companions, and if you kill one of them, he'll go into his cycles of opening and closing his hitbox faster. So we aim for Misery because even though she has more health than Sue, she sits in place and cooperates a lot more. So it's actually faster to kill her. On top of that, she spawns a lot of like really annoying tiny enemies, so by getting rid of her we don't have to deal with that. Turns out I didn't need all that health that I picked up. And coming up we have like probably the part of the run everybody's been waiting for. And for those who have played through Hell casually, it's going to look really impressive. Hopefully. Or we just, you know, eat shit.
Dr. Bloodbag! No!
Get destroyed, nerd. Thanks for the Draculantern Mungo meat. So you saw a bunch of random falling blocks. We're about to see a lot more of them. And they are random.
The room that Drek is probably going through right now is most runners' least favorite part of the game, and it's just one room, but it's that bad.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a run killer in an instant, but it's, you know, it's a room that demands you either go slow or take damage a lot of the time, and it's pretty frustrating.
Yeah, there's a ton of buttes that fly through you. They do 5 damage. All these blocks do 10 damage. I almost took a double hit.
And if it wasn't apparent, the block patterns, you know, the way they fall is totally random, so you just kind of have to...
Of course, it wouldn't be fair if it wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm actually really hurting on missile XP, so I'm gonna take a tiny bit to farm up. If I would actually get some drops. We're actually going to skip one of the locks here by taking damage and boosting through some invincible spikes. If I had gotten level 3 missiles by then, I would have been able to do a skip on these locks, but I didn't, so I have to wait an extra 5 seconds. We picked up free 24 missiles.
It may not be apparent since throughout a speedrun you usually don't pick up any other missile ammo upgrades, but that's by far the biggest upgrade in the game on your missile count.
Oh yeah, it gives you 24. The first one you ever pick up gives you 10, every other one gives you 5. This one gives 24.
It's meant to be kind of a shock if you're playing the game for the first time.
It's just a nice thing Pixel did. The world record holder is a Japanese runner whose name is PPU. The world record is 57 and 11 seconds.
It's a good run.
It's a very good run.
Ooh. Shadax had a pretty unlucky tile room.
That sucks. Alright, so what I'm about to do for the circle phase of Balos is stand on his head and kill all his eyes. This allows you to get a 1 round on him if the bats cooperate, because the bats can just hit you and knock you off. And they can also eat a lot of your blade damage, which I kind of just inadvertently demonstrated, so I got a... Oh, hello dogs. I got a 2 round on the last phase despite playing, you know, correctly and getting kind of lucky. I didn't get lucky enough though. Anyway, time is coming up for me. I take 2 damage from these spikes at the very bottom, and that allowed me to get up right and close to his eye and spam missiles. And time for me.
GG.
GG.
GG. What's that time, fam?
It was just over 1 hour.
Ooh.
Oh,
Okay.
that's actually a good thing. So yeah, I'm about to start the Balos fight.
Okay.
Let's say like an hour and 5 seconds, an hour and 8 seconds.
That's a pretty
not
good marathon
bad.
time.
Yeah.
I'll be right back 1 second.
Oh, 59:57 I'm seeing in chat.
Oh, that's a
Even
7
better.
hour. Hopefully I get the 1 cycle here, and I got it.
Nice.
And I also didn't get hit, which is also nice. That was a flawless hell by my standards, except for that high room.
Well, I mean, that's a different thing entirely.
Okay, and time for me. So yeah,
GG.
thanks.
Pretty close
Cool.
race, considering how far apart a cave story race can get.
Yeah, small mistakes happen easily in this run, and it can, like, it's not happy accident, unfortunately. So it can screw you very, very much. So yeah.
Well played, dudes.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Cool.
Okay. Oh, and thanks for having us. That was really nice.
Yes,
How
thank
are
you
you?
for having us.